so and then I as long as we stay connected, I'm gonna get back with y'all, Jared and Leo. So anyway, so about the closed captionings, like I was saying, I mean that only works for people for people who don't rely on ASL. And there are a lot of deaf people who rely on ASL and do not understand the captions. There are also lots of other benefits to ASL. I initially started learning ASL, and one of Marco's neurologists made it really clear how sign language helped his little neurons get language. Marco didn't get language as early as a lot of kids do. That's part of a developmental delay. But the sign language really helped him get it quicker, which I have some cute little stories about, which we don't have time for anymore. But anyway, also we knew we one of the peers at our church was a young man with Down syndrome who was nonverbal, and he used sign language just because he physically could not speak. Some of Marco's also peers at school also use sign language in that way, and just seeing the sign language helped them as well. Also within a church community, it's especially nice to have participation with ASL. You may notice that when a deaf group sits together, then people don't just copy the signs throughout the whole service. People join in and sing together. We're not signing our own way. We're following the signer, just like a singer sitting in the congregation might follow the um, the the person leading the singing. So it's all just part of being part of a community, being part of an ally. So ASL has a lot of advantages that closed captioning will never be able to mimic. Okay, now Jared and Leo.
Um, Let me see. So, my feedback had more to do with what you were saying. I think two cuts ago. But the I think it was yeah. Um, so a lot. It's just kind of like what you just said, where existing in community spaces, like in community with the people um that you are trying to assist, right, is essential to providing a lot of the accessibility needs and stuff, right? It's essential. um,
Yes.
and also gives back to the environment altogether. I will give two small examples. So I believe on there's a lot of things going on in like LA, New York, right, as far as the protests and the revolution's concerned. And there's this one that was really super duper cool. Um, so there was this person in a wheelchair who was at one of the protests, and she had the like people that were like looking out for her. She had her comrades and everything, but she was essentially shouting down the ICE agents, telling them to like close their gates because they were, trying, they were trying to literally get like abduct more people, right? And so like her representation at the protest, right? Like actually got them to like actually listen to demands, right? Right, because it like the atmosphere was entirely different whenever she was there, because you know normally it's like they were telling them to like move, disperse, leave, right? Normally they would do like some sort of corralling method where they like push and they like shoot and they like do all these things, but none of that. They were like everybody was like scratching their head like, are we really gonna gas someone with who is like has a wheelchair? Like, like, are we really gonna harm not only a white woman, but a white woman in a wheelchair, right? Like, what does this look like? How are we gonna move her, right? Like, how are we, like, she had one of those like those power wheelchairs, so it's not easy to move either. So um and like the demands were met. And just like that, um, so too in Resurrection does Z and the entire like deaf community within our church add so much flavor to the sermons, to these songs, to everything. If you ever when you see everybody sign in tandem with the actual songs and the actual like visual just the sermons, right? It's so beautiful. Like
Yeah.
it's absolutely gorgeous, right? Like that's one of the first things that like drew me and my husband into, because like you're watching the language, right, being modeled right in front of your eyes, right? And it's not done as like, you know a it's a part of the presentation of the church, right? And that like fitting in, like integrating the sections into community is what gives resurrection. It's like it's spice, it's love, it's connectivity, because it's not like these are things that we offer also. It's like, no, this is a part of us. This is a part of our community. And it's so cool, and it gives so much life.
Gosh, you said that so beautifully. Um, I hope I can bring that to other spaces, maybe even our conference space and things like that, and help them to see. But Resurrection is a shining example of including
Yeah, good job.
ASL in that. Yeah.
Good job.
Okay. Yeah, so I think also your example of the woman in a wheelchair, I think that um accessible communities and diverse communities by our very nature are just more vibrant, more participatory, and more resilient. I mean, the more diverse our communities are, the more we can respond to challenges together. And yeah, yeah, this this is beautiful. We have gotten a really good discussion, even though we had so many challenges with connectivity. But so so sometimes I feel like um I'm just I feel like people don't see that benefit to the whole. Um, and I think, Jared, the way that you expressed that was really beautiful, and maybe I can use that kind of language. But what do you think helps people become more invested in allyship when it comes to this? I mean, I think all these justice issues that we discuss, they're all interrelated, right? They're when we welcome another person, we feel more welcome. When we and just it's all part the of the tapestry of who we are. And if one person's left out, it's like a big hole in the cloth that, that's missing. So um how can we bring that to other groups who aren't who can't who haven't seen it yet, who haven't. Yes, Jared.
I mean, it's exactly, you got to bring it to them, right? Which is a privilege, because like a lot of spaces aren't easily accessible. And
Okay.
us, right? Because people had, for instance, before we went to Resurrection, right? We had never seen such a vibrant deaf community, right? Like we have never seen the deaf language displayed so vibrantly. We never seen we didn't know that that was possible, right? Because like we're just not that creative, right? Like and like that sort of like presentation, just like the woman who knew that she was in danger, might get shot, right, still deciding to go to a protest, right, with the help of her comrades, right, that brings the movement, right, the different like the a different, like you said, like the those missing elements of the movement, right, back into the fold so that we can see everybody fighting, because that's what any type of visibility is all about. It's all about everyone united together. And so, like, during times like this, right, where everything is on fire and we're at the end of an empire, it's so important, like rather than, because like there's the idea that we need to fight for rights again, right? And that, but then there is the fact that the current empire is kind of like collapsing, so you're like fighting for scraps and like a dying empire, right? Like, and it's not the rights really as much as it is the community, because when you have a community of people who are invested in you, right, who care and who connect with you on a soul by soul basis, right, accessibility becomes a lot easier to manage, and your voice becomes amplified by every person who cares about you, because all the issues that you would bring to the table, right, the advocacy becomes multiplied. If you had a problem at this hotel and you are just one review, right, you are just one Google review, they don't, court capital doesn't care, right? But if you are visible and you are public and you have been presenting yourself, right, whether it's online, offline, whatever, in these spaces where other people are, you are likely to get the support of your community to, one, advocate for change systemically, but two, and this is the most important part, create alternatives to the parts of the system that are dead, right? So you may not be able to change a shitty hotel service, right? But you might be able to find an Airbnb in a nearby home, right, from one of your comrades, right? Just because of your connections. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like it is so important for y'all to be out there in spite of your fears that bad stuff.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and
There's
I think
solidarity in numbers.
there is solidarity in numbers. You're right, but let's never forget too that just like with gay pride, that just sometimes one person showing up and being their authentic self, sometimes that at least gets people to thinking, and it at least lets them put a face with the issue. And so so yeah, just never forget any effort, any just showing up sometimes makes a difference. Suzette?
I just curious. I'm always thinking about things, but is there an app for the disabled or for right, Jared? Is there if there's not one, we need to make one.
Yeah, like
There- there-
everywhere is queer app. So for people who are differently, yeah, that would
Definitely. Well, yeah, like where can you go? What
Where is it?
restaurants, what theme parks, what hotels, what is
I've
that?
been
Is
looking
that
for
a
that
thing?
app for a long time, and Jared, if you have some information, please share.
Oh.
AI gave me some erroneous information, but I have noticed that, like on Yelp reviews and things, more and more people are putting accessibility information
But
on.
that's not a source, right? Is there one source where you can go, not a Yelp review or a
Not that
Google
I know of.
review?
Do you know of it?
Somebody
You
needs
might
to make
ask Z.
I all I would know is all I know is the Everywhere is Queer app, which is good for finding specifically spaces that are like LGBTQI plus affirming, right? But that's not catered to the disability community, right? Like it's not about that. And so like no, I have no idea of an app that works like that. And there needs to be one because there is for the LGBTQI plus community. So
I downloaded one app at the recommendation of AI called Wheelmate, which was supposed to, help you find restaurants or accessible parking or accessible events. And every place, even in Scottsdale, it was like, there's no locations that have been reviewed in your area, so um, I mean, an app has to be used to, yeah. So I've been looking for that, and there was that we were part of a, what do you call it? Like they were trying to start up an app, and they needed all these people to start putting in data about, like kind of like reviews, but like, is this place accessible? Is this bathroom, whatever. And some of those apps also had like family friendly or gender friendly bathrooms. And uh but I think that app never took off. There was never enough participation. Bathrooms is another accessibility issue that and conference does that really good. By the way, they all of the bathrooms, at all of the conferences, they just take these multi-stall bathrooms, and they just put signs on them that says, male, female, whatever, and then it puts little signs like, this bathroom has a changing table, or this bathroom has urinals, for example. But they make sure that all of the bathrooms are gender open. And I heard a couple of people kind of hesitating, but I was like, yeah, that's what we need. We need to kind of shock people into, this is okay. This is safe. And this is a good way to be. So anyway, if does anybody else have anything pressing before we close? Y'all have been wonderful. Thank you so much for all pushing through all the technical glitches. I guess we lost Kreger. So Suzette, you've been so wonderful praying us out previously. Would you be willing to do that again? Thank you.
Holy God, God of the universe, God of all places, God of all open spaces, let us come to you and let us acknowledge that we have work to do in lots of ways. And making ourselves accessible to others is one way, but making us accessible in other ways is an even more important thing. So, with that, we want to say that let us include everyone. No one should be tossed aside because they're different. We want to make sure that everyone can come to you, Lord. Everyone can be in the spaces where you are. So, with that said, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. It is a difficult conversation sometimes when we have to talk about the hard things. But Lord, you make us in your image, and that is why we are here, so we can talk about those hard things. So, with this said, let us all be blessed and have a journey of blessings from now until the time we meet again. And in your many names, we will pray out. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you.
And you really are going to end the meeting this time.